I think it's working. If anyone can see me, is anyone out there? Hello, see me. All right, I think, I think I'm live. Gosh, I really need to, oh, Isaac, okay, is it working? Is it working? Am I live? Hello, Stevie McDonut. All right. What's up, Jeremy? You guys can hear me just fine? Hello. My mother just messaged, you are live. Thank you, mother. Matt Brady, what's up? How are you? Hi, Tim. So, hi, Mom. I love you. So you guys, I've been looking into philosophy and Plato and stuff. And one of the things that I was looking at is, of course, I was watching a YouTube channel talk about this. So I'm not coming on here like I'm an expert. So tell me what your thoughts are on this. So basically, they were talking about it like Plato's ladder. And he was saying that every single time that you see someone that is visually or aesthetically pleasing to you, it's the start of a ladder. And that is like the start of like a relationship-ish, but it either stops right there or you begin to climb the ladder with somebody, and what started out as maybe just like a physical beauty that you were attracted to or lusted after, it begins to switch. And as the relationship deepens, you look more into their soul and you begin to see the depth of the beauty of their soul and the way that they understand and the knowledge that they have. And he was saying that it broadens to not just one person, but you have lots of people as you become friends with people and the different relationships in your life. And that ladder that you climb, so to speak, up to the knowledge that they have attained throughout their life. And then you guys kind of swap knowledge and share with each other. And then your wisdom grows and their wisdom grows. I thought it was a cool idea thinking of relationships like ladders like that. And that the goal of the relationship is to understand the wisdom and knowledge that the other person has and to see the beauty of their soul. Because obviously you don't know how beautiful someone is inwardly, especially if you're just looking at their outward. They could be very ugly or they could be very beautiful, but you don't know what do they contain within themselves. So what do you guys think about that? And has anybody heard of that before? I'm in a chatty mood, so I'm hoping you guys are too. Are we still live? We are. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? You guys pop up in the comment section and chat with me. I think I was going to say as a single mom. I'm not a single mom. But Vinny was very busy today. No, I'm not FaceTiming anybody. Okay. Vinny was very busy today, so I was hanging out with the kids and bringing them to swimming lessons and doing all the stuff that I was doing with them. And it kind of, I don't know, sometimes I just want some adult interaction. So I think that the chat doesn't look like it's working because there's literally only like, there's like 50 people watching. Okay, let me pull up the chat over here and see if that makes any difference. So how is everybody? Hope you guys are doing. See your comments still. That's very weird. I'm coming. Live now. Okay, right here. Comments still. Okay. Oh, that's so weird. So the chat is working over here, but I don't see it working on my other screen. And I don't know why that is, but yep, I don't know. So I can't add any to the broadcast because it's not working over there. So, okay, I'm scrolling up because to see if anybody answered that. No, Isaac, it's not a sorry side. It's just that Vin is busy right now. So actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know where he went. I think he's playing a trick on the kids because he took Zoe to Walmart. The baby's crying. Hold on. Let me message somebody. Get the baby. Okay. So he took Zoe to Walmart. They were going to get a notebook or something, and then they came back and they messaged one of the kids, help! That was it. So the kids went out, brought in the groceries. They're like, Vin, they couldn't find him anywhere. They couldn't find Zoe anywhere. So now they're like searching all over the neighborhood for them. I think he's just playing a giant trick on them. So he's not here, and I'm scared of ladders and heights. Emily Lee said 2 heads are better than 1. Yep. Now in Spanish, please. I don't speak Spanish. Isaac, you said it makes sense, but you don't know much about the subject. Matt Brady, I can see that it literally does apply to my wife and I from becoming my sister's best friend in kindergarten to becoming my best friend to fighting together in Afghanistan, then becoming my wife to losing her in October. That's just crazy, Matt. Wow. I was reading also, it was saying like, let your lover change you. And in most cases, that's like not a good thing if you're like letting somebody make you become someone that you're not. But he was saying if you meet somebody who was basically like picturing that there's this part of you that's kind of missing because you're not a complete person. Nobody's a complete person. Babe, what were you doing? Trolling the kids.
Playing Manhunt.
Look at you. You're all sweaty.
Oh, shit. I look terrible. This is really bad. I shall return.
Yeah, return back. And can you tell
I got it.
someone to help the baby? Yeah. So anyway, he was saying that each person is like kind of missing something because we're all not complete people. And so you're supposed to meet and come together with someone that's not the same as you. And then you're supposed to appreciate the differences in the other person. And this doesn't have to be just romantic relationships, but regular relationships as well. Seeing where they're different or stronger in certain things and allowing yourself to, you know, when 2 people are around each other and then, or like you guys watching our channel and then all of a sudden people will be like, Fasha, you know, like we weren't saying that initially. Vinny started that and then we all jumped on the bandwagon. So the idea of letting somebody change you and influence you, but in a positive way to where you're lacking, and you kind of surround yourself, not in echo chambers, but surround yourself with people that are not like you, so that way it can kind of broaden your wisdom and knowledge. I think everyone has beauty and ugliness within them. Yeah, Galaxy, I agree. That's why I'm saying that idea. I think it's a good it's kind of a good way of looking at it. Lace Chaser. I guess that Lace. Yeah. Yeah. Vinny's been having a rough time lately. You know, he kind of goes through. He's experienced a lot of things in his life, so he's been having a hell of a time lately. So thank you for praying for him. I'm actually, the reason I'm looking into it is I used to be really good at learning from Vinny, and then I kind of hit a phase where I'm like, I don't want any input. I want to be my own person. But at the same time, it's closing me off to hearing his input. And I don't like that I've been like that. I want to kind of be more open to learning. And learning can be so fun. Oh, Matt, she made you a better person. But see, I think that's how it's supposed to be. Yes, we are not, Metal Future 1982, we are not afraid of heavy stuff. Matter of fact, we like it. Lil Nino. Yeah, I mean, if it goes on our request list, it'll get it'll get worked on. Go Lightning Go. What's up, Lisa? Oh, Matt, you're at Walmart right now? Yeah, so Vinny's gonna be coming. Johnny, what's up? Queen Vampire. Vin is coming. He was playing a version of Manhunt with the kids. So he's all sweaty right now. He's going to get a little freshened up before he comes in here. The School of Life is a great YouTube channel if you're interested in philosophy. Oh, okay. I am actually going to message that to myself right now. Whoops, where's my phone? I'll message it to Vin. Yeah, I'm just getting into like looking into philosophy and stuff. I really like it. So somebody I date an Indian girl. This is Christopher. He said, I date an Indian girl who moved to the US 7 years ago from South Africa. It's really cool to see another person who is so different from me, from culture to worldviews, etc. Yeah, I agree. When you're in a relationship with somebody and it's like interracial, sometimes there are difficulties because, like, for instance, Vin, you guys know, he hates mayonnaise, he hates ranch, and he hates anything that looks super creamy, and I love creamy shit. So when I'm cooking, and he doesn't eat salad, and I love salad. So I haven't been eating any salad because I don't want to cook twice. I don't want to cook for our family. There's 8 people in our family. I don't want to cook for 8 people and then make a separate meal for myself. So I end up just eating whatever I cook for them, which is not always the healthiest because Vin likes Jamaican food. Like, he's not going to go for the chicken breast. It's going to be the thighs and the, creamy. Yeah, like a creamy soup, cream of broccoli, stuff like that. Oh, Justice, I'm glad you like learning from us. Honest to goodness, I learn something every single time we do a song. Every reaction we do, there's always something to be learned. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to learn though, and I think you guys can probably tell I'm like yeah, and mac and cheese is creamy. Steve and I am afraid to ask what a day caller is because I feel like, what is that? Oh boy, I'll look it up. This could be tragic. It's a choker. Let's see. A day caller. I'm still not completely clear what it is. What's a day caller? Oh my goodness gracious. Nope. That is not what it is. It is a choker. Because I liked the design. All right. Philosophy tube. Okay. Yeah, all of these are great. If you guys have any suggestions, because I'm really trying to look into some stuff and kind of learn. It's funny because when you're a kid and you're in school and you have to learn stuff, you don't want to. I think lots of kids are like that. But then you grow up and you're like, you know what? You're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, what's happening? Did our stream go away? Are you guys still there? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, here you guys are. My best relationship was with a girl that was an extrovert while I was an introvert. It was a cool experience to let her get me out in the world and to show her how enjoyable it can be to be chill. That's cute. I am not a fan of corn chowder. I think that's the most disgusting thing ever. How's it feel, Ben? How's it feel? He's in a timeout. Oh, hi, Vinny.
What?
Hey. Your little buddy is in timeout.
Ben, what do you do?
He was talking about what you do in a sexual experience with me.
How did that even come up in the discussion?
Because somebody asked me if this was a day caller or a choker, and I didn't know what a day caller was.
What's a day caller?
Apparently, it's actually a really cute idea. If you're into that.
It's what?
I guess it's something that a guy will secretly buy for a woman, and it's like a collar that, or like a necklace. It can be secretive or discreet looking, and it just means that she's submissive in the bedroom.
What?
Yep. So I said, no, it's just a regular choker, and then I silenced that person, and then, you know, Ben went on his merry way.
Yeah, white people always have to go there with shit. You know? Just can't help it.
So.
Fucking Neanderthals, man. Holy shit.
So anyway,
That's what Umar called it.
Neanderthals.
Yeah, because you guys have Neanderthal in here.
I feel like that sounds so rude.
But you do, though.
Pablo, I'm glad you like our videos. Can you just get me a fresh one of these? I want it really cold.
It's true. You guys did.
Goodbye.
That's why you're the devil.
You're so rude.
I'm just telling you the truth.
I mean, Neanderthals don't sound attractive. Isaac, I don't believe it's ever happened to Ben before because Vin is always here to protect him. You know what happens? So Vin used to work at this job, and there was somebody. They were a terrible worker, but Vin felt bad for them, and he really liked them, and he wanted to keep them around, so he kept saving their job. And then they waited until Vin was gone on a vacation, and they fired her ass while he was gone. And so that's basically what just happened here. Vin wasn't here.
Yeah.
Ben went a little too far, and so I took the controls.
Fucking Ben. All right. Are you going to unban him ever, or are you just
He's not. No, he's only on a 300-second timeout. I put him in a little timeout chair.
Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the homie. We don't fear the blame of the blamers. Don't worry about her. Don't worry about her. All right.
So if you like high energy drinks, try Fast Lane Tea. 1 bag equals 2 espressos.
Fast Lane Tea.
I keep sending you all these messages of all the things people are telling me to check out.
Oh.
Let's see. Fast Lane Tea.
Fast Lane Tea.
I'll look that up later.
I wonder if one of your white knights was here.
That thing's not coming up, the chat, so I had to come over here.
Well, it comes up. You just can't respond on it when you got multiple.
No, there was a bunch of
platforms.
Nobody was talking back, and I thought everybody was gone.
What's up,
so I had
Perk?
to come here.
Perk in the house.
Glorious beard. It is a very nice beard. He's been working very hard on his beard.
Working very diligently on this bitch.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty good. Pretty glorious. Pretty glorious.
Okay.
Perk and Nos in the house. What's good, Perk? Mm-hmm. Percocet. Molly Percocet.
Babe.
Huh? What happened? What happened?
Read it.
We were there for Ben's banishment.
Why were you reading it? It's just funny. In all capitals. We were there for Ben's banishment.
We need to rename the stream. I'm going to rename the stream right now. The Ben Banishment Stream.
What's on the agenda for this evening?
All you have here is let's chat, subhanAllah.
I didn't need to say anymore. I got like 60 people right off the bat.
No, this is Twitch, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Babe, I was streaming on Middle
Twitch.
America at first.
That's
I was like, you
Twitch.
guys tell me, where am I? Isaac Bates was like, you are on Middle America.
Yeah, see, that's why I tried to show you that thing. Did you go to Restream?
I did. I figured it out. I tried to go back.
Where are we in the dashboard? What are we looking at here? Let me see here. What do you got here? See what this broad.
I just
Let's
kept
see
it
here.
really simple. Let's chat.
All right, so it's on Your Grace.
Ben is back. The banishment will not stand. He said the banishment.
The banishment? Is that what he said?
Yes. Instead of banishment.
Okay, so you had YouTube, and then we got this one. Hold on, guys.
Babe, why do you have to do that? Just go with it. It's working.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
us.
as many people as possible to get in on this thing. The village thing isn't on at all. Good Lord, sorry.
You put banned instead of banned.
Yeah, what a disaster.
What?
This is what you do.
Why would you put it on Middle America?
I'm not trying to put it on Middle America.
Okay, what the frig are you doing?
Class.
I already had that all set up.
No, you don't have it. Where's the Facebook? Where's the Facebook one then?
Well, I don't know why you removed that.
You're the worst.
Oh,
you
boy.
are the worst.
They're changing band to be bend. B-E-N-N-E-D.
This guy
Ben, you started that.
He,
His name's probably not even Ben.
that's what you get, Ben, for being disagreeable to live with in peace. Evil ass.
Oh, to be honest with you, Ben, I was just hoping you were going to say something.
Yeah.
Just hoping.
Yeah, she was hoping me to say some dumb shit, Ben.
Yep. Matter of fact, I put this necklace hoping that would happen. I'm just kidding.
Ben, she was gunning for you, bro, like a cop in the hood, bro. She was gunning for you, son.
I have this thing that asks me, what would you like to accomplish today? Yeah. And I picked that. I said I want to
ruin Ben's life. The man's been nothing but wonderful to us.
Yeah, we're gonna do some music tonight. We got a couple songs on the lineup. I salute you from super chat just bumped him. From Chile, South America. Hello. And Zombieholic, could I get a prayer? I just lost my best friend. Oh my gosh, she passed away yesterday. I found her. Holy shit, Zombieholic.
Our Zombieholic?
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
I'm really sad to hear that, bro.
Jeez,
very, 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 very sad to hear that, my guy. Definitely prayed up for you for sure. Damn. That hurts, man.
Yeah. You found her. Oh, God. Email us if you need to.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh. Centennial Justice said The Chosen is a must-watch. It isn't corny like the rest of the Jesus films out there.
Yeah, I'm loving that show, bro. I watch it by my only, though. You know how that is.
Aw, River said, if you're okay with a pagan prayer, I'll do so. Thanks for the support, Sigpornica Starcat Crasher. I want to lay on the floor and forget I exist. Oh.
Who's saying that?
Well, that Junior, so the one that's always saying smoke weed. But, that's actually a really interesting thing. Because It's like the opposite. Well, if you're not saying it in the sense of like a suicidal kind of sound, if it's just like kind of like a philosophical thing, instead of going the opposite and not pretending, but always being conscious of where you are and being present in every moment that you're in, but to actually just lay on the floor and forget about your own existence, it just kind of, that's a pretty interesting, I'm going to try it.
We got a super chat from Germ. Is that our Germ? Is this our Germ?
Germ, is this you?
Call me.
If this is you, you have to call in.
Oh, you know what happened? I got a new number. And I did. That's what happened. Germ, send me an email, Vince@gmail.com. I'll give you my new phone number. My bad, bro.
Yeah, Junior. So, yeah, he said it's him. Oh, hi. How are you? We haven't heard from you in so long.
One of the greatest. One of the greatest. One of the OGs. One of the OGs. How you doing, man? We got to catch up. That's why you got to get my new number so we can catch up, bro.
Justice said, Jesus in The Chosen makes me want to be around him. And he doesn't act pious and robotic at times.
Yeah, they've got a really, those guys at Chosen have a really, really interesting vision.
Yes, and, Pastor of Muppets.
They do a really good job. What did Pastor of Muppets say?
Did I really miss Ben Webb getting banned? Oh, the humanity! Vin wasn't here to protect him. That's really what happened.
Me and Zoe were on a reconnaissance mission that took about an hour. So,
I think 2 hours.
While Z and I were out, securing our perimeter, this one took advantage and banned he who should never be banned. Has he made his return yet?
Oh yeah, he did. He's the one that came on and said that the banishment won't last.
My man Ben. You know that boy sends me an email every day.
Aww.
Every day he sends me an email. I love that boy. He's such a good kid. He's a good dude.
You guys are pretty lenient.
Just with Ben, though.
It's just with Ben,
It's just with Ben. Anybody else?
That's true, because I was, making so many mods the last time. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, you just modded everybody up.
I was like, there was a lot of it. Either everybody was over blocking people, or there was a lot being said, because every time I looked at the chat, it was like silenced, banned, blocked out. I'm like, what's happening?
We had a very peaceful stream, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a lot of jihad.
Then Ben had to start. If you want Ben week,
hey.
type N. I told the kids that.
Something's wrong with that boy. Something's really.
Jeez,
did you download all those videos?
I did.
All right, mashallah. All right, did you download the Who?
No, because he doesn't want that live.
Okay. All right, you guys know the drill. I'm experimenting with being on this side for this show. I might change it up for you bums though. Okay.
But you can see what our shirts say. Mine says faith over fear, and his says Tremonti.
all it says is faith, and that's all they need to see. All right, let's go. All right, so lead us not into temptation. Sorry, holy shit, come on. All right, all right, here we go. First song. You know the drill. Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
And the child shall lead them to buy our merch.
You guys, you have to join us on one of these live streams. It's hilarious. The comment section's hilarious.
Yeah, you really are starting to miss out now if oh, that's why that was happening like that.
What was it?
You had something in the search, sorry. La ilaha illallah. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry. I swear, sometimes
What was I searching for?
You're just killing me. Alright.
Rubbish. Okay.
So this is I actually don't know the name of the song that we're doing, so sorry, since you're emceeing this show, what song are we doing?
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to pull it up here because I had it on that one.
Isn't it in downloads? It's
It
one
is.
of these, right?
This is one of them. The Rise Against.
Rise Against. Okay. Entertainment.
I think Dream Theater's the first one.
Refuse. Born on the Outs. Okay. That's what we're listening to. Refused. Born on the Outs. Now, who is this for? Is this for an alliance? Is this for a, what is this for?
Well, honey, can I just have my computer back? I was all set up over here, so it's very difficult when I don't have my computer. Here we go. Okay, so which one are you doing?
Refused.
Born on the Outs.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Trello changed something.
Can you just tell me?
I don't know. So shout out to you, big homie. Seriously, it deleted all my things. It's very annoying. Like, it kept the names of the songs, but it deleted all the information. Extremely, extremely frustrating. You used to not have to click the save button. You would just type it in, and you just close it out, and it would be saved. And then they switched to something. Now you have to click the save button.
a riddle. What is the motto when there's no middle? Clutching the rudder while the boat's on fire. Keeping fascist, but you're undecided.
What have you been doing this whole time?
Hey, I've been talking to people. I've been enjoying people and talking about philosophy and Plato. Because you're too busy watching sports. I don't want to talk about sports. I want to talk about philosophy.
Hold on. All right,
I'll edit it in iMovie.
I didn't hear a thing.
Me neither.
So let's start this over again. This is the used for a mystery person. Let's go. Ominous opening riff.
It's a riddle. What is the motto when there's no middle? Clutching the rudder while the boat's on fire. Knee deep in fascist, but you're undecided. Your defenses will give out water by your straddle fences. As yet another hate crime commences. Can't stop a Nazi with good intentions. With your silence, you vote for their oppression. With your violence, you vote continuation. The future stands in ways as millions live in pain. A modern racist claim. Walk on my name in vain. Walk on my name in vain. Change the station. I need a better song. It's not my nation until it's everyone's. As million die in vain. The future steps away. On modern racist claim. Why call my name in vain? Born on the outside, I accept my fate. Why call my name in vain? Born on the outside, I accept my fate. I call my name in vain. Hey, hey, I call my name in vain. Hey, hey, I call my name in vain. With your silence, you vote for their oppression. With your violence, you vote continuation. With your silence, you vote for their oppression. With your violence, you vote continuation. Born on the outside, call my name. Born on the outside to fulfill my fate. The outside, call my name, my name, my name, my name. Born on the outside, call my name. Born on the outside to fulfill my fate. The outside, call my name, my name, my name, my name. Born on the outside, call my name. Born on the outside to fulfill my fate. The outside, call my name, my name, my name, my name. Born on the outside, I accept my fate. I call my name in vain. Born on the outside, I accept my fate. I call my name in vain. Hey, 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 hey. I call my name in vain. I call my name in vain.
Whoa.
Wow.
This is a pretty challenging song. What's up, 275 Ranger in the house? Yeah, I carved my name in hate is that line. I mean, this is clearly a
Wait, Jambi, this one's from you?
was
Is it
this
really?
this is
Is it really
Jambi?
Jambi? Or are you
This
just
isn't-
lying?
This isn't Jambi. No way, Jambi. Haha, I seen it. That doesn't mean it was his. Did he say it was his?
I don't know. I sent it. I didn't know if that was it. Okay,
no,
anyway.
I seen it, not I sent it.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Okay, so that song was released in October 16th, 2020. So it's extremely current.
Oh,
It was like
wow.
4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
well, not 4 or 5 months ago, but I mean, it's extremely current. And lyrically, lyrically, I'm trying to figure out with myself how much fun or lack thereof I want to have with the lyrical content here.
Have fun, babe.
Because this song has been pretty much what I felt like doing Middle America. That's exactly how I felt doing Middle America.
Okay, go for it, babe.
All of the last 2 years with this craziness. Go ahead. What were you saying? Were you saying
No,
something?
I was just reacting to you putting that thing in my face.
What should I say? Should I say something? Okay, so here's a riddle. What is a moderate when there's no middle? Brilliant line. What is a moderate when there is no middle?
Wow. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
such a
Well, it's
good
true.
line because it really, really encapsulates our zeitgeist in so many different ways. First of all, like some of this is like, what are your non-negotiables? You know what I'm saying? And when I say non-negotiables, what I mean is, what are the policies or laws that you feel should be imposed on everyone, whether or not they agree? Now, we kind of dealt with this actually in the last Middle America episode when we were dealing with Anna and Jenk's meltdown over the Catholic Church having the audacity to remain consistent with their speech and with their position on abortion.
Yeah.
And Anna had her little 7-minute meltdown over it, but that is an issue where I say there's no middle.
Yeah.
And I had a very interesting discussion with a good friend of mine from the channel, and we talked about how there are some political issues where to be in the middle is to be on the side of evil.
100%.
So, like, you could not be a moderate in Germany in the 1930s. You were either with the Nazis or you condemned what they were doing as evil, period. Like, and in looking back historically, that's how the average German citizen is treated historically. They're either
Absolutely.
a horrible German who went along with an evil killing machine, or they're heroic people who stood up against it. And so, same thing with the transatlantic slave trade, is what a lot of people... Well, first of all, in our country, especially Americans, we have a very hard time of the value of reading and concentration and formulating worldviews that are consistent with each other in all these multidisciplinary aspects of the human experience. Like all those things that were valued in the Enlightenment and classicalism, which is really ironic, have been completely jettisoned. So people don't know things that the media doesn't design for them to know. So if you say, look, I have a moderate position here, and I say, yeah, but during the antebellum period in the transatlantic slave trade, you had abolitionists who were portrayed as crazy and mentally ill, actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. They even had an entire terminology for it. They had a terminology for white people who wanted to liberate black people, and they had a terminology for black people who wanted to be free. Right? Which is why you need critical race theory, because critical race theory examines how these racial presuppositions work their way into every aspect of American life. So you couldn't justify slavery in just the raw dynamic because they looked exactly like us. So you need scientific racism to provide a secular justification. And then you need to delete 1 Corinthians 7 and 2 Timothy 1 out of your Bible and the Sermon on the Mount so that you can, so that's how racialism affects the church. It obviously affects the healthcare system. I mean, these people that are like losing their minds over critical race theory are a lot of it is obviously rooted in ignorance. People don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're commenting on. But I did love that opening salvo, man, because this is something that postmodernists moral relativists need to hear. There are some issues for which there cannot be a good middle ground.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, you've got these folks who are trying to get inside of the LGBT community. I'm not even going to mention them, but they're really horrible people that are trying to, co-opt the LGBT rainbow and all the rest of it. I'll talk to you about it later. And well, no, I think for the purposes of these are minor attracted individuals, say it that way, and they're trying to say this is an orientation, just like whatever. So they're trying to end up maps or whatever in the LGBT thing, and of course our LGBT friends are rightfully horrified by that, and they're rejecting it with the loudest voice possible. Mm-hmm. If some political, I'm going to say it right now, because in 5 years, who knows? If some political guy gets on the scene and comes up with this really cool idea, this innovative idea, where minor attracted persons and minors can get together, like, there's no middle ground on that. Mm. If you support that in any way, you're a terrible person, period. There's no middle ground. So there's some issues where the Iraq War was one of them. Now, the Iraq War is just, I bring that up frequently because that's something that I fell for, and I was big on, I got propagandized, and I was pushing that propaganda hardcore, and so I think it's important to talk about when you've been, successfully brainwashed by your government and the media. Mm-hmm. So that line right there, could have ended the entire song, because I love that point. Yeah. There are some issues where you cannot be in the middle on. Mm-hmm. But the issue is that speaks directly, that speaks most directly to a person's worldview. Because you can tell what a person's worldview is by what their non-negotiables are. Mm-hmm. So for example, we're at a place now when if I get into a debate with somebody and I make the following statement, it is always wrong to kill an innocent human child. Now you got people unable to say that. You got people unable to affirm that statement. Yeah. Okay, if you can't affirm that statement, then in what sense do the terms good and evil even mean anything? Right? So, I say this all the time. Everybody loves that picture of the 99 people saluting Hitler and then one guy's got his arms crossed. Mm-hmm. But nobody wants to be that guy. Mm-hmm. And most of us wouldn't have been that guy.
But everybody thinks they would have been
that guy. But everybody thinks they would have been that guy. Yeah. Well, let's look at the template, y'all. Yeah. In Nazi Germany, there were a group of people who were labeled as subhuman or human. They were recognized as human, but they were somehow under us, and then they were open for killing. And the entire nation went along with it. And you just have to ask yourself, what group of people, in my, zeitgeist or community or timeline, what group of people are we saying are open for killing, and why, and what are the justifications for killing these human beings? Mm-hmm. It's very important. Very important. And lest anyone be tempted to say, well, there's a difference between a human being and a human person. Sorry. Because literally the personhood argument was literally used by slave owners mm-hmm. to continue, because Negroes were humans, but they were not human persons. So literally all the arguments that are used to justify abortion today were used to justify the transatlantic legislature. Yeah, it's like the same exact template. So there are some topics where there is no middle.
Mm-hmm. I thought that they were saying, when we go to vote, you were just talking to somebody the other day and they were saying, what choice did I have? I didn't want to vote for Trump and I didn't want to vote for Biden, but I had no choice. I had to pick one or the other and you were like, well, you could write somebody in, or, where's the moderate position when there really is technically no middle? Because the middle position, or the people that you would write in, it's not being put out there enough, I guess, for people to actually feel like it's a viable option. That's what I thought they were talking about there.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what's happening. So it starts off saying clutching, and honestly, this is this right here. Mm-hmm. These lines are really targeted toward the people that I was going after in the last 2 years, which is these neoliberals. Mm-hmm. Those are the people that he's going after in the song. He's not going after Trump fans. He's going after neoliberals who are telling us all to vote for Joe Biden. Like Jen Cougar, for example. That'd be an example of one of those people. Look what he says. Clutching the rudder while the boat's on fire, you're knee-deep in fascists, but you're undecided. All these people that were telling me that Trump was this horrible fascist, blah, 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 blah. Well, Trump never joked on the Senate floor about hanging people for jaywalking. What are you talking about? You know,
Insane.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And then he goes, and your defense is, okay, but what about you straddle fences and yet another hate crime commences, can't stop a Nazi with good intentions. So, obviously, the can't stop a Nazi with good intentions is not directed at Trump supporters, because in this guy's mind, probably Trump is the Nazi, or people that support him are the Nazis. Okay, then he's going after neoliberals. That's who he's going after. That's the people that were telling us to vote for Joe Biden because Donald Trump is a fascist. Don't you remember that? He was a fascist. Look what he does to these kids at the border. Look what he does with the police state. Look what he does with the security state. Donald Trump is the worst president, most dangerous president we've ever had. That was Bernie. That was Bernie Sanders. That's when he officially decided that he was going to bend the knee and kiss the ring. So all these people have been told that. But see, here's the problem with calling Trump and all of his friends Nazis. Because the minute you do that, what you have just done then is created the justification for anybody but Trump. Because there's nobody, and to this moment I still can't figure it out, but there's nobody in the Western mind that is more vilified than Adolf Hitler.
Right.
There's no way in our current seats in Laban to insult someone and their entire movement than to say these are a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah.
But so the problem with the song is he's telling us, stop with this two-party bullshit. Stop playing the game that these people are trying to design for us. But unfortunately, brother falls into the same trap by, first of all, unfairly characterizing Trump and his followers as Nazis. They're not. I mean, that was a real historical episode and event in the human experience. And to compare what Donald Trump did in 4 years to what Adolf Hitler did is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The cultural conditions aren't even there for something like that to even happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can never happen again, but what happened was if you call Trump a Nazi, and Nazism is the worst ideology by the worst people on the planet according to your average American, then anybody that you put on the other side has got to be an improvement. That's why I was not a fan of calling Mr. Trump a Nazi. Because I wasn't a fan of all the hyperbolic exaggerations of how terrible Trump was, because I knew that the Democrats were going to use that as a justification to once again screw over Bernie Sanders. Okay? So I love what he's saying here, but unfortunately, in my mind, he's still getting he's still getting caught up in the bullshit. Because you just called them Nazis. You can't stop a Nazi with good intentions. Well, honestly, the only way you can stop a Nazi is with a bullet and a bomb, right? So we go ahead and other these people. Everybody that voted for Trump has nothing to do with the Rust Belt being abandoned by the Democratic Party, has nothing to do with blue-collar workers being abandoned by the Democratic Party, has nothing to do with political correction and proto-woke overreach by Obama in the last 4 years. No, none of that. It had nothing to do with that. It's just Trump is a Nazi and everybody who supports him is a complete Nazi. So now we get to caricature these people, right? And we get to other them even more. And then when it does, here's what I've noticed about Trumpism that a lot of that the left will never take accountability for, but that they should. The first iteration of Trump voter was I'm going to hold my nose and vote for this guy.
Yeah. For sure.
There was only one guy that was a Tim guy. He
Doesn't count.
There was only one guy in our circle that made it public before it was popular that he was voting for Trump. And I initially put a laugh emoji by his thing because I thought like the homie was joking. And then I was looking at the comment thread and I said, holy shit, he's being serious. And I remember I sent you a screenshot. I was like, yo, look at this shit, bro.
Did you change your laughing emoji?
Oh yeah, after I talked to him, because you know how I get down, because I
Yeah.
talked to him in private, like, yo, how real is this, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Because he kind of runs for, he's
Yeah,
always running
yeah.
for city council or something
Yeah.
like that. So I'm like, okay, like, is he trying to get attention? Like, what's the drill, bro?
Yeah.
He was like, and he started laying out all this shit about Trump. I was like, oh my God, this guy's real. Like, he was the first one. You know what I'm saying? But aside from him, the average Trump voter was just like, oh my God. But it was because of Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
She was just way too unlikable. She was
Anybody but Hillary.
The woman was impossible
Seriously.
to like. She was.
Yep.
She was horrible, and she was saber rattling about Russia. That's why I was like, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I saw Bernie with Killer Mike, that's the first time I was like, you know what? The Democrats might have a shot here. Because my mom grew up like we were a Democrat house.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
That's so weird
Oh,
because we were
yeah.
straight Republican.
Oh yeah, black people, it's Democrats are our party, blah blah. And then you had Clinton. Everybody fell in love with Clinton. My mom used to
That's
go
so
Clinton.
wild.
Blah, blah. Oh yeah. My whole So like I didn't turn against the Democratic Party until 9/11. That's when I turned against them, because all my Democratic friends were saying no to war, and I was like, oh no,
Oh,
no,
wow.
no.
Oh,
People,
wow.
I said, people have to die. Don't you understand? They attacked our country. And they're like, yeah, but we're going to kill way more of them. I'm like, exactly. Don't you want some? And they're like, you are crazy. I'm like, they attacked our country. And they're like, we understand, but we're not the most important people on the planet. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not the most. We're America. I was not and I wasn't one, you know me, like, I wasn't one of these, like, oh, let's have a fruitful political conversation. Like, I had my first real, actual, symptomatic issues with PTSD actually came from 9/11. Was watching those people jump from the,
Wow.
yeah, when I was getting psyched out.
Yeah.
Like, and they were like looking at the symptoms. They're like, yeah, man, you know, whatever. And like the situation
Oh my gosh.
that I was, dreaming about or whatever was, everybody would be like, oh, well, yeah. I mean, obviously you're going to have you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like all those symptoms are the same things I feel when I think about those people drop. That was it for me. Like that, seeing those people jump from those buildings pushed me way past rationality. I'd been on those streets. I'd walked over there. I'd walked that place hundreds of times. Like that was just it for me. Like it literally drove me insane, and I didn't care. People were like, "Don't you realize there's like hundreds of thousands of people are gonna die?" I'm like, "Yes, and we're gonna kill them. It's gonna be great." Wow. And so that's when I turned against the Democratic Party.
Wow.
It was because of that specifically, and obviously now coming to find out after knowing what I know now, it's like, holy shit! Like this is not. It wasn't as simple as oil, but it wasn't as simple as we're going to fight terrorists either. Like, there's, like...
A lot of complexities.
And a lot of the shit was just, like, set out in open source, but just said in ways that sounded crazy. But then when you look at what we actually did, follow the playbook, like, almost to a T. And then the Arab Spring grows out of that and, whatever.
Wow.
And now we're basically in a staring contest between us and Putin as to who's going to control... the petrol in that region. I mean, this shit is crazy. And of course, but anyway, so that was one where I was completely and totally wrong. And in 275 we left Twin Tower and FDNY calling cards on the dead Muj, which would be the Mujahids, the dudes who were fighting. But if you were not part of that whole situation, like, you don't understand what it's like. And I'm not giving any excuse to it, but that's when I just like completely turned against the Democratic Party. I'm like, these people hate our country.
Wow.
These people, blah blah blah. And to this day, I think some of them actually like legitimately hate America. Like some of them do. Like some of the stereotype is true. Like they legit hate our country, but they didn't hate our country. They just didn't go along with it. But I was just not like prepared emotionally to handle that. Because how deeply I feel everything and things like what happens in my mind. So I would watch and I would tape it and I would watch how long it took them to drop and I would what were they thinking and all this and did they have parents, and then there was this documentary on the phone. Like, yeah, it was
Why
terrible.
do you do that to yourself?
Well, I didn't know I was doing it to myself at the time. Now I know. That's why I say like I don't watch these videos with these black guys getting killed by police and all this shit. Like I don't watch it anymore. But because now it sounds crazy, like being that granular. But think about how crazy. I mean, millions of people watched this guy die. George Floyd died. Millions of people watched him die multiple times. Like, that's sick. Like, our society is completely sick. Like, yeah, I mean, they're probably not going to go into it like the level of detail that I do. But I mean, it's yeah. But my point is,
It's gonna not be healthy at all.
characterizing all these people as Nazis is not only is it uncharitable, but it's just stupid. And it plays right into the playbook, unfortunately, of the neo-libs that he's trying to condemn in the song. Because at the end of the day, most good people are not going to be good with being called a Nazi.
Yeah.
If there is this like refusal to validate anything that these people were saying, these Trump people were saying. The refusal to listen to them, just completely stereotype these people as the world's worst people, basket of deplorables, fascists. And I remember, we got into a conflict in Middle America because Izzy was saying, look, I can't bring myself to vote for Biden. And somebody got on and called her a fascist. You're voting for a fascist? And then people were saying I was selfish. I said, listen, I'm not going to vote for somebody who authored the crime bill just completely destroyed my community. Are you on crack? And they were like, you're so selfish putting you're just one group of people, blah, 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 blah.
Really?
Yeah. And then that guy went around to play victim. It was unbelievably the paternalistic condescension of left-wing people last year was intolerable. Like, I don't think they understood. I don't think they ever will understand how paternalistic and absolutely offensive they are. And to this moment, every time I see some story about these kids at the borders or Kamala saying go home and all the rest of it, I don't get mad at either one of them. I'm not mad at Kamala or Biden. Did Biden ever pretend to be anything else?
No.
But you voted him in. And what I do like with this, though, is when he says,
with your Kamala was going to be able to do something.
Do what?
I don't know. She was talking all that.
Tulsi already explained to us about Kamala.
Yeah. Well.
Tulsi already showed us what Kamala was. So, I mean, this is a woman that had to be ordered by the Supreme Court to release people of color, prisoners, for non-violent offenses.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's
right.
Kamala and Biden once ever pretended, hey, what are you going to do for black people? Hey, man, you don't vote for me, you're not black. Check the records. Hey, what are you going to do about this fact that, you and Obama displaced 3 million of us? You built the cages which Trump filled. How are you going to rectify that situation? Oh, you don't like what I did under the Obama administration? Go vote for Trump. They've been like that from the beginning. They've never pretended to be anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But you vote, and he says, with your silence, you vote for their oppression. With your violence, you vote continuation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad somebody said it. And if you are a friend of mine and you were on the left and me and you had some very, very stark conversation, it was because of that bullshit. It was your paternalistic bullshit telling me that Biden was a better option. Tell the kids at the border, or tell the people that Kamala just told not to get there, not even to come over here. Tell them Biden's a better option. And it was. I'll tell you what.
What is this? I carved my name in hate.
I gotta say, I'm going to vent real quick. It was a very. That was a hard time last year, man. Because on the one hand, you had leftists who I think they did care about the black experience, but because they recently came into consciousness of what was happening to us, they didn't realize that there was a whole past before them of people who were struggling and were in it. So I'm somebody who watched all of those sessions about the crime bill. I saw Hillary call us super predators live. I saw that. I remember talking to my mom and saying, hey, I thought you said that these people were on our side. I remember all that shit. They are just now coming into it conveniently with Trump. And so they dismiss all that pain and say, none of that's relevant. It's time to vote for the person that the media, controlled by white people, tells you to vote for. And if not, you're being disloyal or you're being selfish. And they really couldn't figure out why I was completely ruthless with them last year. Now, look, I'm always going to say, look, I'm a pacifist in the sense of that's my conviction. That's how Jesus wants us to live, to be verbal pacifists as well as physical pacifists. But I've got a very, very long way to go. And to this moment, I'm still not sorry for the way I talked to a bunch of you, because the fact of the matter is, while you were out there pontificating and being all righteous, there's people suffering as a consequence of the decisions you made. Mm-hmm. And we can't do this, there's only two-party system, and if we vote for a third party, blah, 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 blah. No, you're responsible. That's the thing. It's like we experience as Americans one of the greatest privileges ever, which is the illusion that we can choose our own government. But we have handed the power to these people by consistently playing within their rules and repeating their silly-ass talking points.
Yep.
That's why it's so important that Aaron Mate debunks this Syria nonsense. Why? So that we could spike on the Young Turks? No. So that we have a fighting shot of not going to war again. Mm-hmm. Because we've seen this playbook before. We have to learn.
The facts are, schools do not teach how to think anymore. They teach what to think.
Correct.
And all of that has been lost. That I talk to the kids around, and you can tell that they are not being taught to formulate their opinions off of the information that they have that would help to guide them. And it's really unfortunate, but it seems like, okay, well, this kind of seems like it's a smart plan. If you get all the kids in the public school system, you train them up that way, and then you kind of feed them something. Everybody's walking around with a lot of one-liners about why they have the political views that they have. It's the same thing when they find out you're homeschooled and they say, what about your social life? What about, it's all the same stuff. Everybody has the same talking points. You have to step out of the box and start questioning things. And, I saw this thing, it reminded me of Johan. It was like, even question the answers. Make the answers have to answer for themselves. Like, look beyond what you're seeing and actually start figuring out if this stuff makes sense, if this is good for our country, if this is good for us. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that is not. And you're right. We could be so much more than a two-party system, but because we think the middle is not going to work, or that party, the voting it in, is not going to work, it's never going to work. Because everybody says, well, I'm not going to write anybody in. It's just going to waste my vote. Well, if everybody keeps thinking like that.
That's how they maintain the power.
Right.
Right. And like I said, everybody was self-righteously pointing at the Trump people. Anytime that Trump would say something mean on Twitter, they'd say, you voted for this. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you voted for a racist who is now killing these. I mean, good night. The Mexican thing really troubles me, man. It really, 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 really troubles me. Mm-hmm. Born on the outside, carved my name.
The stuff that the kids at school can get a hold of, some places they can get a hold of birth control. Some places they can get a hold of like medicine that helps them with like ADD and stuff. And I think
that's cool.
Well, yes and no. Why are the parents not being informed?
Oh.
That was a discussion that I was seeing. I don't know if it's actually gone through.
That's why Junior pulled his kids out. They were trying to hit him all up with all kinds of
This is what I'm saying.
Without his knowledge.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know about Junior, but yeah.
But that's what people like when they talk about fascism, like.
And I feel like they're trying to undermine the parents.
Oh, of course they do.
Let us teach you. Let us give you this. Okay, the school is not the parents of your children.
This is a woman. Remember that woman on MSNBC, the black lady? She said that we have this silly notion that our kids belong to us, but they don't belong to us. They belong to the community. Whoa, I'm going to stop you right there.
Back your ass up.
I got to stop you right there, my sister.
No.
Please don't make me.
No.
Don't make me do it. All right.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot going on, but this is a real salvo calling out the bullshit that in the last 2 years of neoliberalism.
Yeah.
And inshallah, I hope it dies, man. I hope it dies. A horrible, bloody, but quick death, inshallah.
9.3 for me.
Yeah, 9.5. We got a long way to go, but I think self-criticism is important, and I think that this is one of the differences between this and a Tom McDonald song for me, because this guy has earned the right to criticize that group of people, because he's bit. I'm Refuse. I think they're a punk band because I think we talked about them in Punk Week. Like they've been consistent with that stuff, and it's nuanced, and they're thinking clearly about it, and they're not just regurgitating talking points. You can tell this is their personal belief and experience. Like I'm much better with a left-wing takedown like this than the Tom MacDonald stuff, which is just simply a mishmash of Tucker Carlson and, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
And then you put some rhymes around it for people who are not familiar with hip hop, so they think that you're actually, shout out to the but I think that takes a level of intelligence in itself to understand that. Right? So, but these people have thought that I disliked the Tom MacDonald, fake woke. Although I gave him very, very high scores. It wasn't the thing that got me artistically was I was like, this is lazy writing, right? I mean, this is low hanging fruit. This right here is what it looks like for an intramural sort of criticism. I think they did a really, really, really good job at it. Although I still think that obviously that they fell victim to some of the residual elements of the propaganda machine. Having said that, overshadow Sean. Tom MacDonald has the YouTubers believing he's written more than one song. Truth is, he hasn't. Look, and I'm not dissing Tom MacDonald because I think it takes look. There's 60 million people on YouTube, guys.
Yeah.
So anybody that you see that's at 85K or above, like they've done something, they worked hard or done something, they're in the top 1%. I give them my respect. I just, anyway. Anyway, 9.5. What'd you give it?
9.2.
All right, there you are, dear listener. Then out.
Sorry out.
Gone.
All right.
All right. We got another one.
We have to do that glass one.
You're looking forward to Slipknot's last record with Roadrunner. I'm curious to see about the stories. Corey says it'll scare the hell out of the kids. I bet it will.
Okay. This one, babe.
What?
This is the last. Then we'll be into this one. Yeah.
Okay. We should. Have any of you heard the new Spirit Box?
He'll be blessed because every time we come on.
What? Spirit Box? Oh, Refused isn't a punk band. Okay.
What are they?
I don't know. I thought we did them in Punk Week, but apparently they're not. I mean, I don't know. Hey, Ripple. Didn't you say you had some
Overshadow, you're terrible.
Didn't you have a question or something about the Bible, Ripple? Something?
Did you see Overshadow? I got a friend named Tom. Even he annoys me now.
I got a friend named Tom too. Tom Brady. After listening to, I think Flaw is a good band. Actually, I'm surprised that I didn't. I'm wondering now why I missed them.
In your growing up years?
Yeah, I don't know how I missed them because they would have definitely been on the same channels as Korn and everything else. I don't know.
All right, babe. This is the one. It should have been in there. Hopefully, I really did do that.
Wait, Patriots, whoa? What do you mean? Patriots? Did the Patriots do something? What did the Patriots do? Patriots did something? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Patriots. Let's see.
You know something cute?
What?
Orion is 2 years old, for those of you who don't know. I was sitting in the chair, and I started thinking about something that was troublesome, and he looked at me, and he said, "Are you okay?"
Orion's?
Yeah. I said, "Yes, I'm okay." But I thought that was pretty intuitive for him to realize that.
Well, all my boys are very intuitive. Can I have something to drink?
Sure.
It's just one of them uses it for evil, unfortunately. Tom Brady is my boy. Yeah, Tom Brady's unbelievable. Yeah. Did you have a different interpretation of history, Ripple? Love you guys and thoughts in the vid. Love the on-scene. I appreciate that, Colin Chicho. I really, really do. A lot of times people say they want raw, authentic reactions, and not all the time. Walkator in the house. Sori is gonna be through the roof, bro. When she sees you come in, when I say Wakator is here, she's gonna freak out. Can you dispute the fact that Tom Brady only wins because the other teams lose? No, I cannot dispute that fact. You're right, Ben. Hello, Vin. My name is Rocktan. I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. Bada boom. Realest guy in the room. How you doing? Doing good, bro. Exodus 21. I want answers. Okay, Vicarious Jambi. We know that you're never going to get online. I'm assuming you're asking a question about slavery. Which, since you believe there's no God, I don't know why you would find that concept offensive, considering we're just protoplasm and stardust and a clump of cells bumping into each other on the way to infinite nothingness. So I don't know why slavery would be such an existential concern for you. But what specifically about Exodus 21, Jambi? Vin is just Starbucks confirmed. Jalen Hurts will prove everyone wrong this year. That's impossible because you're saying he's going to have a good year. I'm saying he's going to have a bad year. And another person says he's going to have a mediocre year. He's going to prove one of us right. I'm just being dumb. I'm not a believer in the Christian God and I find slavery wrong. Okay. I didn't say you needed to be a believer in the Christian God to find slavery wrong. I was asking Jambi why he specifically thought slavery was wrong. It's a concern that there are people on this planet that believe a book with said content. What said content? He who kidnaps a man and sells him, the one who finds him, and the one who is in possession of him, both of them shall be put to death. You mean that one? Do you think that was a little too harsh on slaveholders? Is that the problem? This is what happens when you go to evilbible.com and you don't know what you're talking about. you end up saying weird stuff. Here's Exodus 21, chapter verse 15 and 16 for you, Jambi, because you asked me about Exodus 21. So here's what Exodus 21 says for the big homie Jambi, who's a friend of the channel. Believe me, says Mr. Trump. There's Exodus 21. Whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him shall be put to death. So there's that. Now, I'm not a believer currently in the death penalty. But that was one of the verses that was used historically after the Civil War to provide context for why we lost 600,000 of our countrymen. Essentially, the preachers were saying, well, we knew better than to do this to these people, and God gave us the death penalty as a nation. So there's that. As a Muslim, the Old Testament and New Testament are canon. It was good times knowing that the world used to be full of magic and epic happenings. The world is full of magic and epic happenings. We call them unidentified aerial phenomena.
Okay.
You're telling me someone like Ted Bundy shouldn't be put to death. Oh, no. I'm not saying he shouldn't be put to death. What I'm saying is all of us should be put to death. And because I got mercy in spite of the fact that I deserve the death penalty, in my mind, it's hypocritical of me to support any legislation that does not extend that same mercy to other people.
Oh, look, there's Jambi.
We will get into this when I come on and chat, Vin. Inshallah. Inshallah, Jambi. What's your take on Bigfoot? My take on Bigfoot is I've never seen him before, but that doesn't mean it's not real.
Ben, you're clearly lying.
I've always been confused about the Bigfoot thing. Like, I don't see how that is like this impossible. How is that impossible? Like, we got.
Well, it's a hairy.
We got machines that are.
man.
We got machines that are like interdimensional and defying the laws of physics. That our highest, technological productions can't do a thing with. They're like 10,000 years behind it. But Bigfoot is impossible to exist?
Well, no, because Bigfoot would be considered a natural phenomenon.
Why the mockery? Well, I mean, everything's a natural phenomenon for a naturalist, right? What do you think of Bart Ehrman? Bart Ehrman's one of my favorite scholars that's not on the team. I like him, and eventually, inshallah, he'll come back.
So you think that Tom Brady's not that great?
Who said that?
Ben, of course.
Tom Brady only wins because the other teams lose. Ben. Oh, man. Yeah, like, how is
Bigfoot?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the book of Enoch. Which books of Enoch, though? Because there's multiple books of Enoch. Get this, I was chatting to a Limp Bizkit member, getting his autograph now. Holy moly! Well, shit, Chameleon Chris, tell that Limp Bizkit member to jump on and let us do an interview with him. We'll help promote their new record.
Yeah.
What do you think about Justin Fields when he starts? I'll have to see that. I mean, I think he's going to be a very exciting. She's eating
mashed potatoes. Zoe has been making the most amazing mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh.
Nigel, I always get the impression from Bart that he wishes he could be a Christian, but he struggles with the problem of evil. Yeah, I there have been a couple unguarded moments watching Bart or reading him, if you read between the lines, and there is a profound sadness, it seems to me, underneath that stuff. He did a debate with Dr. Michael Brown where he was talking about the problem of evil, and that was it really put into perspective the human side of this great mind. A lot of these times these scholars, for us, who are fans of these guys, they're idea machines, but seeing him, like, because Michael Brown isn't one of these technical debaters, so it'll be more of a conversation, pastoral type of thing. It was really interesting to watch him. I talked to Fred Durst once for a half an hour. I doubt he remembers me, but I told him his band sucks, and he seemed to shrug it off pretty well. He likes a lot of industrial metal, which is cool. If we had like 10 years before and we met each other in the metal world and we started a band, I'd have Ben as our like permanent roadie. I'd give him a job.
You literally think that he would pick up anything to help?
Absolutely. He would love it. He would drop everything. You know how Jesus said, hey, follow me, everybody dropped everything? I'm not Jesus, but if I went to that with Ben, I said, Ben, come on, let's go to Core. Let's get out of Iowa. He would do it in a heartbeat, for
I'd
sure.
be like, babe, he's in the back eating snacks, and we need to have this stuff on the stage.
You know what he would do, though? He would probably, like find some way to destroy Jay's, like, body. He'd, like, break his hand or something like that, so then he'd be like, well, I mean, I know how to play because I'm the guitar tech.
It just so happens, I know, yeah.
Yeah. I guess super oversimplified. What I mean is, do you believe that the North was right in the way they handled things? If it was me, I'd pissed at historical context, the same as I am about my ancestors. well, what do you mean the North was right? Do I feel... Okay, let's say it this way. So there's this doctrine of concurrence, right? That God can decree a thing for good intentions, and the people carrying out the action can do them for bad intentions. And so you can still rightly say you're a bad person because your intentions were bad, even if they were carrying out God's will. That's the doctrine of concurrence. So the most obvious one is the crucifixion of Christ, right? Where it was prophesied it was going to happen. God didn't just know it was going to happen. God caused that crucifixion to happen. Isaiah 53 says it pleased the Lord to crush him. Acts chapter 4 explicitly says, truly in this city, Herod, Pontius Pilate, and the Jews gathered together against your servant Jesus, whom you anointed. And then it says, they did whatever your will and power determined beforehand should happen. So God determined all the evil of Judas and Barabbas and all the rest. He determined all of that. And yet, God's motive in determining that was the salvation of a number no man can count. Pilate's motives, however, were self-preservation. Judas's motives were monetary. The Jews' motives were jealousy, etc., etc., etc. So when I look at Southern slavery, when you talk about, do I think the North handled it properly? As far as if you're talking about the punitive way in which the Union soldiers destroyed the South, I would say that their motives were wrong, but it was a just punishment from God, that God decreed that as a just punishment for those evil people for the sin of participating in slavery. So I can simultaneously say, yeah, they were bad for doing so if I look at their motives, and then at the same time say they got what they deserved and that God was still merciful in his punishment of this great nation. And we should take that into account the next group of people we try to oppress and dehumanize and murder for our own monetary gain. Do I believe the North did the right things for the wrong? Yeah, and that's what I believe for the majority of human history, especially in human wars, right? So like we stopped the Nazi war machine, but our motive was not we're going to save the world from Nazis. We knew that the Nazis were wrecking shop and taking everything over, and then until we got hit in Pearl Harbor, we didn't jump on anything, right? So there are lots of times when people have done something that generates a good result from a bad motive. And as far as their individual stance with God goes, they have to answer to God for that. As far as God's plan goes, no one can stay his hand or say to him, what have you done? As the scripture says.
Babe, what is this thing? What did he say about a hoodie?
I don't know.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Okay, Jay. What's his name? Ben Webb is going to be our
oh my god.
Our guitar tech.
Our roadie.
Our guitar tech when we're on tour.
Is that what they're called, a roadie?
Don't. Yeah, I think.
Or is that a rude way of saying it?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, it sounds fun.
Yeah, so just if Ben comes around you with any hammers or anything, just watch out, because I'm pretty sure he's going to try to break your hand so that he could take your spot. Do you think God intentionally created and determined our future as he prophesied it in Genesis? Or did he merely foresee what our free will would lead us to? Well, Khan, what I would say is that God never learned anything. That's how I'd answer that question. Sori has quit the fucking band.
I guess you just brought Ben in. Okay.
Sean King is a devil reincarnate. I don't think he's a devil reincarnate, but he's certainly a liar and no friend of mine.
Every great band has to have a liability. All right. Baby, you ready to get in this song?
Wow. XBM, you've got a hell of a memory, man. Holy shit.
XBM, he's saying he doesn't know what this hoodie comment was.
I know what he's talking about.
Oh.
It was after Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown shot a show where he's like, look, Negroes, if people are afraid of you when you wear your hoodies, just don't wear the hoodie.
Oh, God.
Shout out to Michael Brown. Free Casa though. All right, guys. I think Ben would fall in love with my adorableness and want a hug from me, not hurt me. See, that's how you know he'd immediately get his hand broken.
Yep. Yeah.
Immediately.
Yep. That's it.
Shit, man.
I got your back,
Advice for
OJ.
dealing with a soul-shattering divorce and the PTSD that came with it. Long fan, by the way. Love you guys.
Oh.
Damn it, Scott. Look, man.
How long ago was that?
Seems pretty recent. Yeah. Divorce. I had no idea, man, but I've been through death and I've been through divorce. And I'm not going to say that divorce is as bad as death or something like that, but it definitely took a lot out of me, for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. And especially when, like, you as the man didn't want it. Like, I've seen dudes, like, they just completely check out of the relationship and they just, whatever. But, like, when you wanted it and you wanted it to work and you tried hard to make it work, I think there's something very instructive in the way that God brought the children of Israel to the promised land. One is he purposely made them wait 400 years. I mean, it explicitly says that. Then after they waited for 400 years, he sends Moses. And when he sends Moses, the situation actually got worse before it got better. Remember the whole bricks without straw? Mm-hmm. And then God does these series of plagues or miracles, depending on which vantage point you have, to kind of give the Israelites the courage to keep holding on because their deliverance was coming. They were going to get to the promised land. What's interesting is that God, when they were stuck at the bank of the Red Sea or the Yam Suf, and so the sea is in front of them, they look behind them and the bad guys are coming and they're like, okay, this entire endeavor was designed just to destroy us. So, imagine the emotional roller coaster. Moses shows up. He's supposed to be the savior. He confronts Pharaoh. Holy shit, nobody's done that before. And then the response is things get worse. Then finally Yahweh does all these miracles and you start saying, okay, well, maybe we've got some hope here. And then boom, you're at the edge of the Yam Suf, the Red Sea. Out there is nothing but water. Behind you is the children of Israel. How is God going to pull this off? Well, a lot of things could happen. God could have opened up the ground and swallowed the Egyptians and sent them alive into Sheol. He's done that miraculously. He could have teleported them. He's done that miraculously in the Bible. But instead, he parts the Red Sea and everybody goes through it. And I think that that's instructive. The reason it's instructive is because that shows that many times that God doesn't choose to save us the way we want to be saved. Sometimes he saves us through the thing that's designed to kill us. Mm-hmm. Taking a walk into the middle of the Red Sea at the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of the sea, by most intents and purposes, will kill you, unless Yahweh's at the front of the march. So as long as Yahweh's in the front of the march with you, you're gonna be good. As long as you keep your eye on the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night, you're gonna be okay. It doesn't mean things aren't gonna get worse, and it also doesn't mean that you're not gonna be pushed to the brink of what you think is death. Yeah. And it also doesn't mean that in a year or two things are going to be okay. It took them fucking 40 years, bro, to get from where they needed to be to where they were. Some of it because of their own sin, some of it because of the sin of the people around them. But the Exodus, I would encourage you to read the book of Exodus just from start to finish, man. Because you can get a lot of perseverance from that. The little details in the Bible. Like one was they were at the edge of the promised land, and God says, you can't take the land over at once because there's a bunch of animals there. So if you clear out the land immediately, you'll be overrun by the wild animals. So you have to take it piecemeal. So the Bible is very, very, now, I believe all that literally happened. You could take it as a metaphor that you want to take principles from. Do what you will. But what I would say is that these little details are there, and my life has been changed through the Bible, not necessarily through the big giant text, God so loved the world, but little details like you're not going to be able to go in the land immediately. The Lord your God will give it to you piece by piece. And I've always taken that as okay, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get to the promised land, but it's not going to happen overnight or at once, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And even there's a lesson even in that waiting. So that's what I would say. Sorry you're going through that, bro. It's a hell of a thing. I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy for sure.
Another thing I think is helpful that was actually something that Vinny had taught me when I was going through my divorce was sometimes we're inclined to want to hate the person because we're in so much pain, and you feel like hating the person will somehow make it easier. But acknowledging how you really feel about the person, that they really hurt you, that you still love them, things like that is actually healthy for your growth, and just actually being honest with yourself about your feelings in the situation. And if you're in pain about it, like recognizing that, because pain, the quick response and the easy response that we want to go to is anger when we have pain, because pain just by itself is so kind of fragile and vulnerable feeling. So we want to transition that quickly to anger and hate, because that kind of makes us feel more powerful over the situation. So allowing that to kind of, trying to focus on not making sure your heart isn't becoming angry and bitter, and all that is super, super important. And it's very difficult. I actually had seen this this video one time. It was called Fireproof, but that doesn't really matter. And they took a salt and pepper shaker and they glued them together. And then they said, okay, now separate them. The only way you can separate them is when you do, they're going to break. And, the contents are going to come out. And when I was going through my divorce and for like a long span after, I kept feeling like one of those salt shakers, that I was just broken, and that like what was inside of me was just like, bleh, I was just like everywhere, just coming out. And there was a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, a lot of tears. But you will find space again to find happiness, and there is always more to life unless you're on your deathbed. So, the advice that Vinny gave is great advice. And my biggest piece of advice is just be conscious of what's happening to your heart in this process, because the last thing that you want is to go through all that loss only to find yourself an angry and bitter human being at the end of your days. So.
Yeah. No, that's all good stuff. And guys, man, the freedom with which you guys share really, really serious issues like that is I'm blown away by it. And it's helpful to other people, because if there's one, there's five, right? So shout out to everybody who's in some pain here.
Yeah.
Vin, why do you think God does not show himself or angels like in the Bible? I don't believe that. I know people who've seen angels. So it's one of the questions that you have in a kind of postmodern environment where you assume, and I'm not saying you specifically, Saber, but we assume a naturalistic explanation for everything. So even when it's supernatural, I remember one time, that's when we were in the atheist room or whatever. And there was this hurricane that was going to hit Miami in like 3 days or something. And a bunch of these evangelical Christians went to the beach and they put their hands out and they prayed against it. And so all these atheists are like, look at this, blah, blah, blah. They're making a giant joke, blah, blah, blah. Everything's funny, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, Vin, look at this. I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, the thing veered off. And so I pulled up and I shot a video and I'm like, hey, all you,
what now?
That didn't age very well. And of course they were like, oh, God had nothing to do with it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like I say all the time, like belief or unbelief is a matter of volition more than cognition. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to believe something, you'll never believe it, no matter what you see or don't see. Mm-hmm. And if you want to believe something, you're going to believe it no matter what you see or don't see. So there's that. Thoughts on the first transgender athlete to compete in the Olympics causing big controversy here. I was going to shoot an MA video about it, but I didn't have enough information on it. I mean, I know what, you know, and obviously I found out about it via Ben Shapiro. This is a deadlifting, I think. I'm not a fan of that. I got to be honest with you.
Assuming it was.
Yeah, it's male to female transition.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. Look, there is a reason there's an NBA and a WNBA. There's also a reason that there isn't a WNFL. Okay? There's a reason that there are no women in the SEAL teams. There's reasons for that. And it's not gender discrimination. It's biology, physiology, and just plain physics. Okay? Women cannot generate the amount of torque and things like that necessary for these high-impact sports. So the more and more physical the sport becomes, the less and less you're going to see male and female parity in the sport. So, yes, you can have tennis, but women playing each other in tennis. But you get a person like Serena Williams. Serena Williams, one time at the peak of her powers, they said, hey, would you ever play against a man in an exhibition? She said, no, I'd never embarrass myself like that. And Serena Williams is... Serena Williams is the only woman I've ever looked at and said, okay, she's stronger than Sori. Because you're the strongest woman that I know, personally. So, Serena Williams is built... I mean, she's a very, very strong young woman. And even she's saying, I would never go up against a regular tennis player, much less a... So, there are obvious physiological differences between men and women. And so, look, if it's the ping pong team, I don't care. But deadlifting?
Yeah.
Track?
Yeah.
I don't like any of the solutions put out right now. And I think we're very, very smart. God gave us very, very good, brilliant brains. And we're going to figure out how to solve that problem. But currently, as it stands right now, no, I'm not a fan of that. And I don't think most people are fans of that. And people like the Fallon Fox situation, people have been hurt, you know, in these combat sports. She's broken the eye sockets of people. And look, if that was a common occurrence, you know, they had this one girl, Cyborg. And the big thing about Cyborg, people were saying, man, Cyborg is like, she's got to be on some performance, you know, PEDs. Because she was just so strong and so heavy-handed for a female. And Cyborg won't fight this person. Yeah. Like they just, and Cyborg isn't out cracking girls' orbital bones in their eye. I mean, and she's a heavy hitter. It's the same thing with Amanda Nunes. She's got the heaviest hands in the sport right now. She's never cracked anybody's. So I mean, this Fallon Fox is doing stuff that normal female fighters don't do, and there's a reason she's not in the UFC. So what happened is, Joe Rogan came out and said, "Yo, this is crazy." Dana White suspended Joe Rogan because that was before Joe Rogan like blew up. Oh. That was when I had just got home from Houston.
Oh, wow.
Right? When they got done that assignment, it was during that period. So Joe Rogan wasn't like the Joe Rogan you know. He was just a commentator on UFC. Yep. He got suspended for that by Dana White. But Dana White will not sign Fallon Fox to a contract. Why? You see what I'm saying? They asked Ronda Rousey about it at the height of her fame. Ronda was like, she gave a non-answer, but basically said no, she wouldn't want to compete at that. So come on, guys. Like we've gotta be. To me, if we don't account for the pragmatic, obvious issues, then it's not going to be sustainable. Mm-hmm. Because you can only do the king has no clothes for so long, right? Like it wasn't dodgeball. It was some sport, netball or something like that. The dude was like 6'9".
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he had just like come out and was like still like he still had his dead name, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. Like, and you know, I don't know. We got to figure it out. Is what I'm saying. We got to figure it out.
I think that I'm still throwing around this idea. I haven't completely come to my conclusion. But if you're talking about like Miss America or something like that, and you allow any sort of beautifying enhancements, like a nose job or anything, if you allow that within that environment and you have somebody that's transitioned and they want to be a part of the pageant, I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But if the pageant is this is like all natural woman. Like, you can't have any enhancements. It has to be like you were born this way. Well, in that sense, then no, it should just be, you know. But if it's not specified, then I don't have a problem with that, because it's still coming down to, you know, the beauty of your enhancements. So if,
yeah,
you know, but as far as sports go, I don't think it's right to, and honestly, like, because I'm a Christian, obviously that is not the direction that we would encourage somebody to go. But if somebody was transitioned, and I just kind of wish that they would respect the female gender by saying, hey, like, I was biologically born male and I don't like that, but I'm not going to compete against biological women because I understand that I have a leg up on them and I want them to have the best possible sports experience. Like, loving the female gender that much to say, yeah, that really wouldn't be right or fair to put myself, a biological man, against a woman that was biologically born a woman. So, yeah.
Yeah, and of course there's Ben Webb's, 2-inch deep analysis. Because I'm a Christian, I'm a transphobe. No, it's not transphobic to say that this is a serious social puzzle and we've got to apply a real brain work to it, and this is way too early. I don't know what the solution is. Just like when I critique capitalism and critique socialism, people go, well, which one isn't? I don't have to choose between the two. I think we're going to come up with something better in the future. And that's where I am. What I do know is I'm not a fan of girls losing their scholarships. I'm not a fan of that.
No.
At all.
That's not right.
First of all, if you know anything about girls' sports and girls' athletics, they get about 20%. And I understand the argument. The argument is that the boys' sports is going to generate more revenue, so they deserve more revenue. I get it. But girls' sports already get shafted. Title IX, all the rest of it, it works just like affirmative action to a degree. Like, they do not get funded. So the little funding that girls' sports generally get.
Yeah.
And then these two in the midst of transition show up and they go 1 and 2 and this girl no longer has a scholarship like that. I'm not good with that. I don't care. Right. You can say whatever you want. You can call me whatever you want. I mean, I truly don't care. I don't care. Like, that's not right. But I'm also not a fan of marginalizing people. Trans people are not, from my interactions with the the folks that God's put in our life, I'm not getting, oh, I wanted to be a girl. I'm getting like, I feel completely displaced. I feel like I'm another person, and there is this like almost clock of like they had to change this in time before they did something to themselves. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Okay, I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna go off and swing the other way, right? Like, because what's happening is participation. Now look, I say this all the time with the black issue, right? I'm like, why are we always trying to get into these white people's schools? Why are we trying to get, like, man, make your own shop. Like, why you? But for most people, being embraced by society and being able to take part in the regular rhythms of life of a society are important. And for kids in schools, it's sports. They find a lot of belonging. Yeah. They find a lot of identity. Yeah. And so, you hear the story about the kid with the Down syndrome. So they put him on, they make him the water boy or whatever, just to give him, So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't like any of the options in front of me right now. It's for that reason. Yeah. Because I understand the emotional side of it. Yeah. And I think it's a really big ask to ask the 14-year-old who's already struggling with their gender identity and their sexuality to then pull out and think on a macro level, okay, what about gendered women though? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's too much stuff going on with them and making decisions about puberty blockers and all. That's a really big ask to ask a teenage kid, hey, so it's a very, 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 very hard thing either way.
Did you see your...
saying make your own shop doesn't address the issue of available resources. Well, I think Black Wall Street showed we had available resources, Ben. Go ahead.
Did you hear anything about what Ripple just said?
What did Ripple say?
He said, "What do you think of the accounts of revenants and / zombies all across the world? What's that? What's happening?"
Oh, like the undead kind of.
What? There's reports of that?
Yeah. I told you about that in Haiti, the duppy thing. The duppy, like, they'd be dead, and then the voodoo person brings them back to life and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, there's legends like that all over the world.
Oh. It's not like, since everybody's been getting their vaccines, all of a sudden we're hearing accounts of, like,
no.
zombies.
Although, Yasser...
What?
Yasser Khani. So, there's this major problem in Islam about Yajuj and Majuj. I'll talk to you about it offline, because I'm not trying to diss Islam online.
Oh, no.
And then Ben will go on like, what about Yajuj and Majuj? I'm not giving Ben any ammunition to go after my Muslim friends. But no, it's not a new thing. Like, it's been a thing that that we've seen for quite some time. We are a reaction channel, though, so we're gonna get into a reaction a song. It's what do you call it?
The glass one?
The glass prison or the glass
prison.
house? The glass prison.
He said the glass prison.
Okay, guys. So we're going to shoot the commercial, and then we're going to be back. Glass prison is on the way. Stand by. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch. You know, was that?
And the child shall lead them to buy our merch. This song is brought to you by our good friend, Al Wakator. Or Al.
The Wakator.
Al is the, right? Mm-hmm. The Wakator. So tell us, what did the Wakator want for a song review, Sorry?
Okay, he said he's doing a concept from the drummer of Dream Theater named Mike Portnoy.
Portnoy.
I don't know. Portnoy?
The Wacky Tour, not the Wakator.
The Wacky Tour.
The Wacky Tour. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, so this is the next song, The Glass Prison. So.
What do you mean the next song? Has he done one before?
Oh yeah, the Wacky Tour's done lots of songs with us.
That's true. He has.
Yes, he has. Okay, so this one is The Glass Prison. I've actually been super excited to hear that.
It looks like a lot of people are super excited all of a
Because
sudden for some reason.
The Glass Prison sounds like an intriguing.
Well, you like the concepts of like prisons and being trapped and afraid and terrified.
What is wrong with you?
You do.
I like it.
I think so. All right.
Please just start the song.
We'll start the song. Ben Webb has decided that I've got terrible taste in music, so there's that. This is Dream Theater, The Glass Prison. Let's go. feeling. DJ spinning, what is going on here, man?
Fast from the wreckage of the past, a shattered glass prison wall behind me. Past, walking through the ash, a distant oasis before me.
That was
Fun.
Progressive rock.
Yes, I am definitely a progressive person.
Yeah, you're a giant prog head. Me,
Yes, I
not
like it.
Me, not so much.
You didn't enjoy it?
Well, the thing. Okay, so it's a 13-minute song.
You have terrible taste.
I'm not a very.
You have
big,
no taste in music.
I'm not a very big prog guy. Just.
Anytime I don't agree with your thing, you're like, sorry, has no taste in music, so. Now it's my turn. It's my turn.
Yeah.
You have no taste. You have no taste. It went all over the place. It was fun. There were parts where I felt like I was in, the shop where they fix our vehicle, and I was under a vehicle. Then there was just like other things where I just felt like I was running backwards through space and time. Like there was so many things to experience in this song. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though.
Yeah.
There was a part where he sounded suicidal. Where is that part?
Oh, it's the big homie Khaled. Khaled.
Hi.
Sorry is correct. You have no taste. Yeah, man. I just not into prog, man. I just. Go ahead. Talk to the people.
So are you? Well, lyrically, oh man, It sounds. First of all, is this a lot about religion, and how religion makes people feel?
I don't know. I think it was like he was like trying to embrace religion.
Well, at the end,
because he's like, He said I was trying to believe or whatever. So
Yeah.
it didn't look like he was against religion. It
Well,
looked like he was trying to use this.
he wants to
looked
go
like
to a
he's trying
safe
to
place to
use-
forget about his daily sins.
Yeah, that's not.
But then at the
religion's-
end,
that's
it
not
seemed
religion's
like-
fault.
Cry desperate, crawling on my knees, begging God to please stop this insanity. Help me, I'm trying to believe. Stop wallowing in my own self-pity.
Yeah, so he's trying to. Yeah, he's saying he's trying to believe. That's. We were just talking about that with Bart Ehrman.
Help me to return to humanity.
Like Bart Ehrman's got this. It's a shtick. Is I'm revealing the stuff that your pastor won't tell you about textual variants or whatever, blah blah blah. But I was watching a debate with him, and he was talking about the problem of evil, and same thing with Charles Templeton. That was the other thing. Problem of evil, got to him, and it's a real problem, and that people struggle with, that everybody struggles with if they're paying attention. I mean, I don't know how you could be a person of any sort of conscience or anything that isn't taken by the problem of evil at some point in your life.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
It looks like it sounded like a little bit like 12-steppish to me a little bit.
Oh. He says, cunning, baffling, powerful, been beaten to a pulp, vigorous, irresistible, sick and tired and laid low, dominating, invisible, blackout, loss of control, overwhelming, unquenchable. I am powerless, have to let go. I can't escape it. It leaves me frail and worn, can no longer take it. Senses tattered and torn. Hopeless surrender, obsessions got me beat. Losing the will to live, admitting complete defeat. Fatal descent, spinning around, I've gone too far to turn back around. Desperate attempt, stop the progression at any length, lift this obsession. Crawling to my glass prison, a place where no one knows. My secret lonely world begins. So much safer here, a place where I can go to forget about my daily sins. Life here in my glass prison, a place I once called home. Fall in nocturnal bliss again. Chasing a long-lost friend I no longer can control. Just waiting for this hopelessness to end. Run fast from the wreckage of the past, a shattered glass prison wall behind me. Fight past walking through the ashes, a distant oasis before me. Cry desperate, crawling on my knees, begging God to please stop this insanity. Help me, I'm trying to believe. Stop wallowing in my own self-pity. We've been waiting for you, my friend. The writing's been on the wall. All it takes is a little faith. You know you're the same as us all. Help me, I can't. That was a quote.
That sounds like, hey, like you go to the 12-step group and they're like, hey, you're one of us now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, or church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Help me, I can't break out of this prison all alone. Save me, I'm drowning and I'm hopeless on my own. Heal me, I can't restore my sanity alone. Enter the door, desperate, fighting no more. Help me restore to my sanity at this temple of hope. I need to learn, teach me how, sorrow to burn. Help me return to humanity. I'll be fearless and thorough to enter this temple of hope. Believe, transcend the pain, living I'm sorry if you guys don't want to hear the whole thing. I want to read it, so I'm going to. Humility opened my eyes, this new odyssey of rigorous honesty. Serenity I never knew, soundness of mind helped me to find.
That's like the serenity prayer.
Yep. Courage, the change, all the things. Oh, courage. Well, they said the change, but it means to change all the things that I can. That's that prayer.
That's the serenity prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll help you perform this miracle, but you must set your past free. You dug the hole, but you can't bury your soul. Opened your mind and you will see. Help me, I can't break out of this prison all alone. Save me, I'm drowning and I'm helpless on my own. Heal me, I can't restore my sanity alone. Way off in the distance, I saw the door I tried to open. I tried forcing with all my will and still the door would not open. Unable to trust in my faith, I turned and walked away. I looked around, felt a chill in the air, took my will and turned it over. The glass prison which once held me is now gone. A long lost fortress, armed only with liberty and the key of my willingness. Fell down on my knees and prayed, Thy will be done. I turned around, saw light shining through. The door was wide open. It's good. I very much like the read.
Yeah, I mean, it's lyrically, I was following it and I was definitely vibing with it lyrically. Sonically, look, there were 13 minutes that you had to choose from, and I mean that in a good way, because it just, like I said, the song had some really cool moments where I was like, holy moly, but like as a whole, it was kind of like, I don't know. It's one of the things that gets me about prog sometimes. It's like, look how virtuoso I am with this instrument. It's like, I get it, but did we need like the DJ scratching and then the emergency, like
my thing is, sometimes I wish
too
that
much.
I read the lyrics and then listened to the song. Because now I know what the song's about. I know this journey that this guy is on. And so I'd like to rehear that journey with the music beside it.
True.
Because, I've said it before, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in if you are kind of have a creative mind and you, like, when I hear the sound of the song, I'm picturing something in my head, but at the same time, I'm still trying to see the lyrics, but I want to go on my own journey, but then I won't even know what the frig the lyrics are about. So, like, if I read the lyrics first. But again, if you read the lyrics first, then you miss the journey you would have taken. Well, I would miss the journey I would have taken.
No, I
1
quadrillion% agree with that. I agree with you there. For sure. It's just, but again,
there were parts fight in the song that he was having.
There's I don't know what you call that. I don't know what you call that part in the guitar. Like, remember when I was restringing the guitar and there was that little thing.
The little
yeah, he was playing that. He was playing that as part of the song, and it was like, he logically put it together. There was notes and everything, and that blew me away. I
didn't even notice that part.
Yeah, like I know. I'm like, wow, because I remember the first time I got guitar, like, you're touching everything. And
yeah.
I asked Ralph, I'm like, okay, what does this part do? He's like, oh, it just makes cool sounds. It's not really anything. Like, nobody uses it.
Right.
And we were playing new metal at the time, so definitely nobody was using it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I liked the song. I felt like it was, I don't know. I don't think it took, did it need 13 minutes? Like, did we have to do all those I don't know.
Yes.
But it's not a bad song. It's a good
it.
song. I'm gonna like rate it highly because I understand solid musicianship when I see it, and I understand what he was talking about. And lyrically here, like, he talks about, the humility, and then the like, this guy's a giant rock star who plays in front of thousands of people. and he's got to go to this 12-step program. Like that's somebody who's like, I'm gonna prioritize like what's real over the bullshit. You know, a lot of these like famous people, they always go to some like special camp with other famous people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand. I think there's something about. I think that there is like. I understand that part of it, like being around people that understand the unique exigencies of that lifestyle. Yeah. But at the same time, like being around a bunch of people who don't have the common human experience, like I don't think so. So I'm picturing that he's in some, you know, rundown church or whatever in his 12-step group, and he's getting some help, and I think that that's good. And I think it's very important for people to know, like, you need to get help. Like, you're in a situation you can't overcome that shit, man. Get help. Do whatever you need to do. Talk to people, whatever. Like, it's important. But a lot of people, you just wonder, like, how many people would be here today if they just reached out for the help. Yeah. You know, like, it's mind-boggling to me that people are literally dead because they were too proud to ask for help. That's all. That literally is the difference between life and death, is you were just too proud to ask for help. Holy moly.
Well, I think that sometimes it's about pride, but I do think that there are other times where you have lost all your hope. And that's what he said in the song. Like, there was no hope that was left. Yeah. And so he's saying, like, he says in there, save me, I'm drowning, I'm hopeless on my own. Heal me, I can't restore my sanity alone. Yeah. So he's feeling crazy, and he doesn't know how to get out of that situation, where to go, but he's at least in a place where he says, look, I can't do this on my own, I need the help. Yeah. You know, there are some people that you get so hopeless and so deep in that dark hole that you literally think there's no way out except to die. Yeah. So that's why I think if you're starting to feel those effects, you're starting to feel that heaviness on your soul, you're starting to kind of feel like you're losing yourself, get help. Don't wait. It's never too late unless you're dead. So if you're not dead, there is hope for you. You can get help out there. But you have to reach out for it, because there's lots of people that would love to throw you a line. They just don't know that you need one.
Yeah, I would agree with that, you know, to a degree. But, you know, when people say things like, oh, you having religion as a crutch. You know, we've talked about this before, having religion as a crutch. Of course I do. Of course. Jesus, and he tells us as much to be a crutch. When you tell a person, you tell your friend, you can lean on me, you're telling your friend, I will be your crutch. Like this concept that because you need your one of the benefits of religion is that you have an emotional crutch, that therefore invalidates the religion, is one of the strangest ideas to me. Like, most of us count our friendships by that in specific. Like, most of us count, of us, like, you know, people talk about they turn corners in relationships. And when you look at each other and you know, like, okay, like especially where I came from, every dude had that moment where, like, that's your guy, that's your man. And it usually has to do with some sort of, you know, corporate suffering that happens. And the mutual, you know, reliance of your friends depending on you and you depending on them. So when people say, like, oh, you're just religion.
Is this true?
You're just using religion as a crutch.
Our screen is black.
I don't know.
No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, when people say, oh, religion's a crutch, blah blah blah, like, I say, sure. I have no problem with that. Yeah. But, like, people, I think that it's supposed to, like, it's designed to make you feel bad about yourself or something like that. Oh, you needed a crutch. You weren't as strong as the rest of us. I guess it's supposed to be the idea, but, you know, I have no problem saying, okay, I'm not as strong as the rest of you. Congratulations.
Yeah, but I don't even think that entire thing is, I feel like it's just dishonest, because, you know, I remember before I went to any live shows, and I never saw any shows. I wasn't allowed to watch MTV. It was very restricted what I was allowed to see. We couldn't even watch Disney, for God's sake. So, like, when I went to my first rock show, I was like, are you friggin' serious? Everybody's got their hands raised. I'm like,
yeah.
what?
It's like a church service.
Like literally for years of my life, people would make fun of the fact that churches raise their hands. Why are people raising their hands like they're like, what are they doing? And now I'm like, wait a minute. You mean wait a minute? All of these secular people had this understanding. I didn't have it because my life was so
Yeah,
lived in a bubble.
Cloistered in a monastery.
But it's like, how could they have come to me with that? Like, if I
come to you with what?
why come to me with saying wow, you guys raise your hands in church? Why would you do that when people know they go to shows and raise their hands all over the place?
Yeah.
That's such a bizarre thing to me. So that was like so crazy to me. And the crutch thing is just another one of those for me, because you can call it a crutch. You can, whatever gets you through the day, like literally everybody has something that gets them through the day. When you have a hard day, when you have
the people that don't end up dead.
Yeah.
So
when you have a
hope
hard day,
something.
You're thinking about going home and having something or doing something. You have a release. Everybody has releases, something that is their chill space, something that brings them a bit of peace in a troubled world. So that, to me, like, now that I realize, wait a minute, this person, it's their weed, that person, it's their music, that person, it's driving their motorcycle fast, that person, it's the burger they're going to eat when they get out of work. You know, everybody has something. Some people, it's a friend that they want to chat with. There's so many things that everybody has something that they're going to lean onto for a bit of comfort and a bit of peace. And if you don't, like Vin said, you will land dead. You'll die. You have to have a release. You have to have something to lean on. So to me, it's just simply dishonest to make it look like, wow, look at these Christians leaning on the God of the universe for you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure it's dishonesty as much as it is a lack of self-awareness, and that's why I'm so big on self-awareness.
Yeah.
And people and self-interrogation, right? Where you say to yourself, why is it that leaning on a friend as a crutch is okay, or leaning on a band as a crutch is okay? I mean, I've seen people worship these people in bands as if they're the Pope, and I understand why. Mm-hmm. That person just articulated what you've been going through your entire life. But all of us, I mean, good night. Most of you, your relationship is your crutch.
Or a YouTube channel.
You're demanding way too much of your partner, man, because you're trying to have your partner fill the gap of God, and anytime he or she doesn't meet your insane expectations and needs, you go crazy on them. Mm-hmm. That's because you're using them as a crutch. The problem is that you're not a bad person for doing that. The problem is that your soul is too heavy to carry.
Yeah.
You know, and we've said you know, those are important and I even have those conversations with my kids. You know, Dorian, like, life is very easy for me because Dorian is really big on my approval, and every parent knows how to leverage your kid's desire for approval to get them to control their behavior. I'm like, Dorian, man. Because I'm a big crutch for Dorian, which that's okay. I'm his dad. I'll substitute for God for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I tell him, like, Dorian, man, there's going to come a day I'm not going to be here. He's like, we're not talking about that. I'm like, no, we're going to talk about it, bro. Like, I'm not going to be here one day. You got to learn to trust God, and you got to learn to, you know, the big thing about being a parent and being a husband is to prepare your family to live without you. And that's what Jesus did. Like, he met him. He got him, he taught him, and then the last quarter of his ministry was about prepping him to live life without him. And without him in the sense of him physically being here, reliance on the Holy Spirit and the carried presence of the Father and the Son through the Holy Spirit. But you get the point. He wasn't physically going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
So, you know, my thing is, okay, if we're all using a crutch, I want to make sure that crutch is
it's
damn
the best
good
damn
one.
crutch around. Yeah.
Exactly. Because look, this going through this journey that we call the universe or whatever it is, you're 50,000 feet in the air on a tightrope with crutches. That's life. So you better have a damn good crutch, because the odds are stacked against you. So you better have a crutch. And if you're silly enough to try to walk this thing by yourself, good night. We'll see you at the bottom. There's no net. So, Pride is a real killer, and a lack of self-awareness will kill you. Like like in our crew, the big thing, like my guys is obviously this crazy self-reliance. Mm-hmm. And I was in a situation where, people used to say I was indestructible. Because I always came back clean. Mm-hmm. So you start to believe the hype. Well, on my last go around, it wasn't like that. Mm-hmm. And you've seen me in like we're careening off the road or something, and I'm like, this is not good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I generally don't get like frazzled. But just because somebody doesn't get frazzled doesn't mean they don't need help. So I'm up there with the big homie Scoot. Shout out to the homie. I said, he looked at me and he said, this is not a good situation. And I said, nope, it's not a good situation. And we said what we said to each other, whatever. But I needed his help. I wouldn't have got, for better or worse, you guys would have had the channel, one for the homie. Because,
Yeah.
My ankle was fucked up. I wasn't going nowhere. It's just one of those things where I'm laughing about it now, but it's funny now. I think about it. Like, I had never got hurt ever, not once. Not once. And then I've never been the same since that one. And it was my last one, so what can you do? You went out with a bang, inshallah. But yeah, which dovetails into this one. Christ not being able to carry his own cross all the way is probably the most empowering thing for humans. This font is so beautiful, but
it's impractical.
It's massively impractical.
And the other thing is, you think it's beautiful because you know cursive.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even teach cursive anymore. So there's people on our channel can't even read that, some of them.
Yeah. But this
people our age
it's an important thing. So I'm gonna put it back on there and change the color. Notice how Sori is right there with me and always encouraging. Christ not being able to carry his own cross all the way is probably the most empowering thing for a human, because if God in flesh can do something by himself, how can we? We got to rely. Whoa, that's it. Period. That's good. That's good. And that is what I mean when I say it's the little details of the Bible that have saved my life.
Smart, yeah.
Especially considering it was a black guy who's a Cyrene. Mm-hmm. So, but no, that is so true. That is so true. And it's those, little details about the Bible that are massively powerful. And that is a very big powerful one. And, if God in the flesh even allowed it to be recorded that he fell, that's the other thing. Like, he allowed it to be recorded that he fell so that we could read it. Like, that is important. That's saying something. And so, that's a very, 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 very good point.
So when he says, take up your cross and follow after me, does he mean take up your cross in the sense of Christ or in the sense of that man that took the cross for him?
Well, I think take up your cross and follow me, probably the most direct
is your own personal cross?
Your own personal cross and walking your race. But I think what's helpful about considering the take up your cross with the the incident where Jesus needed help carrying his cross is the concept that you have got to do it in a community. Mm-hmm. So even though it's singular, take up your cross and follow me, when it gets practically worked out, what we see is Jesus carried his cross, but there were stations along the way where he needed help.
Yeah.
And that is important.
Yep.
And so, to his point, I mean, if this is God in the flesh and he needed help, here you are running around talking about you don't need any help. You're dumb as a box of rocks. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about it. Shout out to Khalid, man. Khalid is one of the original homies from way back in the day. Yeah, so very important points in the song. Amazing points in the song. That's why I said I'm going to rank it very highly for the lyrical effort here. And honestly, if we really, really dug into it, we could do a 5-hour.
Oh, yeah.
5-hour
Even I agree with that. There's so many that I'm like, what the how could you talk that long on that? But this one we could talk for a very long time on. This is actually an 11 for me.
Whoa.
Because you guys know how I get down. If it's something that I can apply spiritually to my life, then yeah. And it was just wonderfully done. Plus, you know me, I love being trapped.
Yeah.
According to them. No.
Yeah, I mean,
Glass breaking
lyrically, the song was saying something very important.
Yeah.
Things like chasing a long lost friend I can no longer control. I have a hard time judging this song because it's the first listen. It's a 13-minute song, and honestly, it's a musical masterpiece. It really is, because he was I don't know if you noticed, but he's contrasting some very grimy, dirty riffage that's very simple, two-finger stuff.
Yep.
With the... and he was doing that like throughout the song, so it wasn't all just look at me, I'm doing a masterclass in combining all these modes. Like, that's not what was happening. Like, so I understand that. So my decision is gonna be a solid 8.8.
Wow.
Solid 8.8.
Just not sure we should keep going with the channel anymore then.
Well, there you have it, folks. You heard it here first.
Okay.
We're done.
Somebody asked, Blake? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Somebody asked why I was giving an 11, if that was for the music or the lyrics. So for me, the lyrics are the 11. Musical content is a 9.8 for me, but it's an 11 because it was a spiritual experience. So.
I see. I didn't have that experience. Still a very good song. Been out.
Sorry, out.
Gone. Somebody was asking us about. Sorry, looks appalled.
All right. It's actually 12:41. So.
Okay, we got to bounce.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long have we been here?
Vin just 2.5 hours. Okay. Vin just said 8.8. Vin is a Nazi confirmed.
Oh my gosh.
How does that?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? It's Ben, babe. Why do you even read it? And you're trying to make sense of it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Ben, just throw in some. You probably did. Just throw in some stupid shit to see what you'll do.
There you go.
Like, hi.
We've been doing this since we got married, right? It's 2019 or 18.
Yeah, it's so funny. Vin also predicted the story with like the lyrics. Remember? Yes, he did. You know what's so funny? When we started the channel, Vin was like, okay, when we get married, we're going to take a year off and just like do nothing. And then he was watching a reaction channel and I was like, what is that? Or you said, come over here and look at this. I can't remember.
I couldn't believe it.
And then
I said, yo, babe, look at this shit.
I said, what are they doing? And he said, they're listening to music. They're recording themselves listening to music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I was like laughing about how stupid I thought it was.
Yeah.
And then I walked away from the computer and Vin was like, you want to react to a song with me?
They were doing Deftones Digital Bath. It was Lost in Vegas. Was doing Deftones
Lost in Vegas.
And I was like, holy moly. Like, that's not a song I would have seen. And I love that song, and it meant a lot to me. And so I was like, oh, I want to hear what they have to say. So watching them react, I was like, oh, that shit is crazy. So I was like, oh, I wanted to see how you were going to react to Slipknot.
Yeah.
So it just so happened that we recorded it, and then here we go.
So Vin records it, and then I was like, he put it up, and we immediately started getting subscribers. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. How are people even finding us?
I could not.
So then we shot another one, and then we shot just a couple more, and then we were like, you know what? Let's get a computer and let's get a camera and see if we can really amp this up. And then we were like, maybe we could support our family off.
You weren't saying that about the computer.
Pretty sure I said we.
I was saying that, and you were like, if it was anybody other than
I would disagree.
Vin,
yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
But I threw in with it because it was Vinny. So we set ourselves all up, and then we just started shooting videos, and we actually were just able to go full time. We have 6 kids, so it will take a little while to go full time.
Yeah.
We just recently were able to go full time on the channel, so that's super exciting for us. That's why the song requests are so big, is because this is our job now. So that was cool because it's giving us more time to do these live streams. Obviously, you're seeing the live streams popping off more and stuff, so that's been cool. As far as how long the channel's been up, has it been like 3.5 years?
I think it's 3 years. I'm not sure. I think you just do it like every March.
Yeah.
So I think we've had 3 Marches so far, so that was it.
Okay, so that's how long we've been doing it.
Kai, yeah, we're gonna have a Hoffman sit down. It's gonna be me, you, Perk, Sori, Ian and probably
It's such an interesting thing.
yeah.
I think that's something that we should like the us get together to talk about it, but let people from Patreon see the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's really interested in it except for that
No,
like little group of people.
that's not
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
That's not true. How can you even say that? Okay, tell me what River's into.
What do you mean?
Tell me what River's into. Tell me why River would be interested.
River's into paganism.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's lots of people on the stream that would be interested in that conversation.
I'd be down to discuss paganism.
At some point with y'all. Yeah, but River, would you want to...
Yeah, Perk.
See,
Perk, anywhere I go, you're going, that's it.
Vin reminds me of Abraham Lincoln.
Anywhere I'm going, Perk's going, that's it.
There you have it. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So you'll be taking a forest date with Kai, and then you're going to bring Perkinos everywhere you go.
That's my guy, though.
I certainly hope at the end of this there'll still be a spot for little old me.
We are open to doing comedy reactions, and it's weird. Like, I just thought of that today. So if you send a comedy reaction request, we'll do it. I normally dodge that question. I don't answer it.
I don't know why.
And
I
the
always
real
say
issue is
people.
the thing I'm worried about is the algo, because it's going to hurt us in the algorithm. But
Well, we don't have to put it up on this channel.
no, I'm gonna put it up on the channel. It's okay. Like I've got the algorithm stuff I've got it pretty much figured out as far as we need to cross a certain event horizon before. I'll explain.
I know. I was actually looking and planning today as well.
I don't get the Vin Abraham thing. If Vin were around, Abraham wouldn't have liberated the slaves. Big facts.
Oh my God, Ben, go to bed. Ben, tell me this. Did your parents spank you as a child?
Vin is affirmative action Chuck Norris. Oh, man.
All right, well...
Are we still doing music news? That's right. Music. Remember we were doing music news?
we started so many different things.
News around the world.
We were doing music
That
news.
was...
we did reviewing books,
that was,
movie reviews.
Okay, the music news, I think, would have been good for us. It's just that there isn't enough, like, music news for it to be, like, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we could have probably done... Even though, like, the most recent one, I wouldn't even do an episode on it. Like, Fieldy. Like, I wouldn't even do an episode on that. So, that's the problem. Like the what's his face? Lil Nas X. Like, that made, like, media all over. Like, my dad... True story, guys. My dad literally brought me into a kid's... Like, what was it? Like, a youth group.
Yeah.
A youth group Zoom study. And he's like... He called me up. He's like... Yeah, man, we have to have a real conversation with the children. I was like, what happened, Pop? What's going on? He's like, you hear about this little Nas X? You hear about him? My dad's like, old school Jew. He's 75, bro. Like, Jamaicans are... Listen, when I say that we were homophobic in Jamaica, I'm talking about, like, people died for being LGBT. Like, shit is, so my dad is like, he doesn't, and my dad's a real gentle dude. Like, he used to come, I got pretty much everything from my mother. My emotions, my disposition, it's all her. Because he's so
I know. It's so funny watching you talking to him, especially when he's, like, running that thing and the kids would say stuff. He'd say, huh? Like, because you're, like, so, like, he's more old school. And you're like, let's not judge people. Let's listen to why did you...
Right.
Vin is so big on why did you do that. I was having a discussion with Johan today. I said, listen, I don't care why you did it. It's what you did. He goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't care the minutia of why you didn't do this.
I'm more concerned with why you did a thing than
why?
what you did per se. But it was cool to watch, though, because my dad... You could tell he was reaching out. He didn't know how to help these people. And, and he didn't want to, like, condemn Lil Nas X.
Pops, don't watch the video. There's no reason to watch the video, Pops.
Oh yeah.
Because of how old school he is.
Yeah. I had too much respect for my dad for him to see that shit, bro.
Yeah, Pops, there's no reason.
So yeah, I don't watch that shit. He's like, oh, okay, all right.
All right.
And you know he talks like Dorian. I'll take your advice, sir.
Yeah,
All right. Seem like a reasonable conversation. You know, a bat came into the colloquia of a turkey and sneezed in my chili, and now we all have COVID. I'm just tired drunk right now. Whoa, De Herrera in the house, man. We got everybody here.
Oh, De Herrera, you're here. Look, here.
Shell's in the house.
Here you go.
What happened?
Ben Moen, you missed me getting thrown in a timeout twice.
Shout out to the homie.
Yep.
Shout out to Ben. Who's your favorite of the America Big Thrash 4? If Pantera is not in the Big Thrash 4, which they probably shouldn't be, then I'd have to go with Metallica.
You know what? You know what they should do? They should do this so that way if you put somebody in a timeout, there could be like an automatic emoji that gets sent to them. So it'd be like a little dunce cap.
Yep.
Anyway, I am headed out. I have some very exciting plans for tonight that involve philosophy and other exciting things.
Yeah. We have Ben Webb in the house.
So
be careful.
Anyway, I think you want to go for a walk? Let's go for a walk.
Yeah, I think we're going to go for a walk. Mukund, I will be back soon, inshallah. Yeah, Pantera should replace Anthrax in the Big Four. I agree. Thorn Within by Metallica or The Second Coming of Christ.
Okay, I'll tell you guys something weird about myself. I need to tell you this. Pause, you can answer that question after. So I've always had this fear that I was going to somehow get like kidnapped. Because my parents always warned us about it so much that it was like this fear I always had. Anyway, since the channel started, partially I got like that fear increased because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people now that know us and blah, blah, blah. But then one day I was like, yeah, but there's so many villagers that love us. If I went missing, there would be lots of people looking for me, hopefully. So it brings me a bit of peace.
Really?
Yeah. I think about the village. Sometimes when I'm out and I think, oh no, maybe this isn't safe. Well, the village will look for me. And
they
Vinny,
would.
The Vinny, of course. Vinny would find me.
I would find you. I told you I would.
I believe you would. I would never lose hope.
I would find you.
I'd be like, it's been 10 years. Maybe. Then I'd see you. Welcome to the Vin and Glenda channel. Babe, I'm sorry.
Unhanded. Don't joke about that ever again in your life. Holy moly.
Look at your eyes. It's just a random name.
Ben Webb, I don't know. He said something about the cops, Steve. Who knows?
Oh, Steve, message me.
Yeah, just text us, De Herrera. We'll tell you the whole deal. I would mount a major search effort. Dogs and everything. See, I believe that. Ben Webb, what is it about us guys named Vin that makes us so disagreeable?
Disagreeable to live with in peace.
Disagreeable to live with in peace.
Well, Vin triggered, LOL. Okay, guys, I love you very much. But Plato is calling me. Goodbye. What? Are you signing out or are you hanging out?
You're just a very pretty, like I watch sometimes and I watch all these different angles of you and you're completely beautiful in every angle. It's ridiculous.
Oh, nice.
You're just a very beautiful woman. Holy moly.
I'm glad you feel that way.
Huh?
I said I'm glad you feel that way.
Over and against what?
Thinking that I'm homely.
Homely. You would even believe me if I said you looked homely.
Homely? No, but... No, I wouldn't believe you said homely.
Weirdo.
I'd say... it's too far.
Sorry.
Gone too far.
Have a good. This is great. This is great.
Good night. Sorry. Have an average night, Vin.
Fuck you very much, Tasco.
I don't know, babe. Average would be better than bad.
Tasco's still angry at me because of the
Why?
one time he called in. He's the one that says you are simultaneously the most engaging and frustrating person on the internet. He every time I say something nice about AOC, he goes off the rocker.
You know what's so funny? The more I listen to philosophy, the more I'm like,
this is where the gender shit like is completely hypocritical. Because if Ben would have said that, he would have got banned. Amy says it, and we're laughing. I'm laughing because that's not at all what's going to happen. We're literally going to go for a walk. But anyway,
so a cute man.
Whatever. All right. What's up, Ben Harper? Ben Harper, you have a massively disturbing
tongue,
but you have our favorite name,
and I believe...
everybody say hi to Ben Harper. Hey! Jack, you're looking at a Jack. Oh, you knocked over my beer. Yes. All right,
more beer spilled across the United States.
This more spilled liquor.
Yeah.
And it clubs all across the U.S. and UK. You're talking about woo the wheeling dealing. What do you say?
Wheeling dealing, yeah. I want to say shit talking, but I don't know.
Shit talking. Girl stealing, son of a gun. Ain't about that life.
Anyway, there's been some real greats out there.
Bitch, I'm the
all of them follow us on our channel.
I said, bitch, I'm the whole fucking life. Ho, shut your mouth when you impress the king. I'm bald like LeBron, but I got a couple more
Hey,
rings.
you know what we need to do? I know what we need to do. We need to put a poll out on our channel and find out how many people can get to the Boston area. And then we need to plan a trip to go meet everybody. It's summertime. There's got to be some park or something we can go to.
What we can do is we find one of those clubs and we'll master 3 of our songs, and then we'll
tell everybody to come to the club.
Headline at a club.
Yes.
And then we'll just go in there like all villaged out, and then we'll shoot like a live video and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be legit. That way we'll have people cheering for us.
They would cheer anyway.
Well, I cheered for you, inshallah.
All right. See, Mike is 2 hours away from Boston, so you could get there.
Yeah, there it is. Shit talking, profiling, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, headlining, son of a gun.
Stealing, yes, kiss stealing.
Kiss stealing. Whoa! Wheeling dealing. What if you guys just moved to Indiana instead? That would never occur. Never occur.
Good night. I'm going for my walk. If I go missing, come find me.
All right.
Oh, Vinny.
We gotta go. We're going.
Bye now.
We're going to enjoy nature.
Or